Ni hao, my name is Sorella Moore and welcome to this Finance and Freedom channel. So I'm pretty sure there is literally no one on the entire planet that doesn't want to work less but make more cash. In this video, I'll be sharing 5 tactics that I've learned over my time on how to reduce your workload whilst boosting your income, together sharing information of what I've learned throughout my journey, as well as from my previous business mentor, James Schramko, who has a book written about the topic. So let's get into it. If you are brand new here, make sure that you do subscribe. I think you are going to like the community here. We put out videos every Tuesday and Thursday to help you get free and financially free. So make sure you subscribe. Also, if you're getting a lot of value from this video, do like. It helps us immensely in getting the message of finance and freedom out to the world. Secondly, we have an amazing newsletter. People are raving about it. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, no, I'm not giving away my email address. Well, people are loving it. We have comments of people loving the newsletter, beautifully written stories, and you get to learn at the same time. So you're gonna have fun reading it. Link in bio to subscribe. And finally, we have launched the pre-sale of our course membership combo on all things finance and freedom. So if you wanted to get early access for a lifetime access at a huge discount, there is a link in the bio to find out more. As you know, the amount of productivity videos online is pretty outrageous. It seems that everybody wants to be as productive as possible, but I sometimes seldom find that these videos talk about the reason why you want to be productive and decrease the number of hours that you need to be working in order to put the same amount of output out into the world. And that's to have more time to live. This channel is about finance and freedom. And freedom means not working yourself to the bone just because you're able to input more and be more productive. That's not what it's about. It's about freedom and then calling the shots in your life to get the most out of the existence that we all have on this planet. Number 1, understanding the 64-4 rule. You have probably heard of the 80-20 rule, spoken about by the almighty Tim Ferriss as well. So essentially, this principle called the Pareto principle works on the idea that you're gonna receive 80% of results from 20% of your actions. Now, this principle applies to a lot of things in life. In this context of this video, we're talking about business per se, but it could be for fitness, it could be for studies, a lot of things that it could be relevant for. 80% of results will be received from 20% of your actions. Now, let's look at me, for example. There's one thing that brings the most results in my business, full stop, and that is making these YouTube videos. I spend about 5 to 6 hours a week making these YouTube videos that go out twice a week on this YouTube channel. But then there are also obviously different things that I do in my business as well. 5 to 6 hours a week could be spent on emails. I'm not able to reach as many customers or clients or potential clients or get brand awareness of Abundantia by answering emails. I might be lucky to speak to maybe 100 to 200 people, maybe in those 5 to 6 hours. Whereas with these YouTube videos, I'm able to reach 50 to 100,000 people per video, which is pretty damn incredible. When I started out in business, I for sure was just doing everything at an equal amount and not taking the time to reflect back on what was bringing the biggest results in my business. As I'm in business almost over a decade now, I've noticed that the biggest results from my business don't actually come from 20% of work. It's actually much less. And this sentiment is echoed by one of my early business mentors, James Schramko, who is a fellow Australian like me. He makes over $1 million every year by working 25 hours a week, which is pretty damn good. He fills the rest of his time up with spending time with his family, surfing. That's a big thing that he loves to do. He has a really good schedule and he's a business mentor coach. The principle he talks about is actually the 64-4 rule, that 4% of your business is going to bring in more than 2/3 of the results of your business. And I have to agree with that actually. I noticed that there is literally nothing that brings in the most results as me being on camera and making these YouTube videos. This is the most powerful use of my time. So James has written the book, Work Less, Make More. This principle actually changed my freaking life when I first heard about it. Of course, I heard the 80-20 rule, but I was grinding. I was on the grind so hard to try to make my business work, filling my time up. And I definitely can say that I filled my time up because I had time and I wanted to be busy like all the other people that were burning out. I was like, if you burn out, that means you're doing things right. But then as I was burning out, I realized, wait, this isn't sustainable. And now you're seeing people like Casey Neistat openly talking about burnout as well. And he hasn't uploaded for so long. These things ruin you if you don't take control of them. As creatives, entrepreneurs, people that love what we do, people that want to be free, we are so fast to work overboard trying to make our dreams come true, but it comes at a really big cost later on. Because if you burn out yourself too early, you're going to screw yourself up and your business is going to dwindle. And that is such a common story for so many high-performing individuals like you, like me. So when I read James's book, Work Less, Make More, I started taking actions in reducing the amount of work I do and really focusing and reflecting back on what was bringing the biggest results in my business. And this is such an important thing to do. Please take the time to do this in your own business. Maybe you're brand new to business. Maybe you still haven't identified what is working. That's okay. Just start seeing what is bringing the biggest results. Is it talking to clients directly? Is it reach out on Instagram, Facebook? Is it making YouTube videos? Is it making content? But not just content for the sake of creating content. I think a lot of people are like, create content, produce one photo a day on Instagram, one reel a day. Have you assessed if it's bringing anything in, or is it just filling up your Instagram? Is anything happening from the content that you're creating? You have to be very reflective in your own business. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that the other things in my business are not important. There are very important emails that I have to get back to in order to, sustain my business. There are things you have to do in business that are not fun, that are not going to bring you direct results, but they're still important. However, you need to be able to identify the things that are the most productive for your business, for your results, and the things that are secondary. And over time, you'll be able to see if you can do less of those things that are bringing you less results. Maybe you can delegate it eventually when you are able to get a staff member, for example, even maybe hiring your niece, getting an intern, I'm not sure, but getting rid of those things off your plate as fast as possible so you can focus on the most important things that bring in the most results into your business. You think that your business is going to fall apart because you're not doing everything? Been there. I've thought that. It is not true at all. And then you're left with this extra time that you get to fill in with what you love. Working less, making more. Double your rate. This is probably the simplest way of working less but making more. So simple that it kind of hurts. Let's say that you're a coach, freelancer, business consultant, or anything, any solo entrepreneur. Whatever you do, you probably have some sort of a rate delivery of your services. Maybe you're a graphic designer and you charge $50 an hour. Maybe you're a business coach and you charge $500 an hour. That is your rate, and you can only serve a certain amount of customers at that rate per month. Let me ask you a question. What would happen if you doubled your rates overnight? The simple answer, very simple answer, is that you would have to work half the amount of time or half the amount of clients in order to make the same amount of money per month. Now, I know a lot of you are freaking out and thinking, no, but what about, my clients won't want to work with me if I double my rates. I won't have as many clients. Precisely. That's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to have less clients, but make the same amount of money. Work less, but make more. If you double your rates and your clients are okay with it, you could be making double the amount of money for the same amount of work. Or if you lose some clients, say half of the clients that you have, you'd be working half the amount of time and making as much money as you do now. There's also this strange phenomenon is that oftentimes, whenever you charge lots more than like a really affordable product, say a $5 product, you will get so many refund requests and customer service inquiries about the $5 product, far more than if you have a higher price point for a product, say a $500 course. This is reflected by so many different entrepreneurs that lower price point items always cause so much of a headache, so much so that I actually don't like to sell lower price product items. Also, because you have to sell so much more in order to make the same amount of money. Say I want to make $1,000. I would have to sell 200 of the $5 product in order to make $1,000. But if I have a course for $500, I only have to sell 2 and it's making $1,000, the amount that I want to make. That's 100 less sales, less customer service, potentially less problems. The other interesting thing that happens is that when you double your rate or have a higher rate, people oftentimes perceive you to be more skilled at what you do. Let's say that there are 2 lawyers and one charges $150 an hour and the other one charges $500 an hour. As humans, we automatically think that the person charging $500 an hour must be so much more skilled than the person charging $150 an hour. A lot of people in the situation of needing a lawyer probably will look at if they can afford to pay $500 an hour because they believe that the service is going to be so much better. So you look like a luxury item luxury service to your clients if you have a higher price point. In your own business, it is wise to reflect back and look at what you can do in your own business in order to charge more. And that could result in much more clients for you because they perceive you as a higher valued person or service, or less clients, but a higher caliber of clients, less work, but making the same amount of money. And of course, you don't have to stop at just doubling your rates. Like, what would happen if you tripled or quadrupled the amount of money that you charge for your business services? If you quadruple your rates, you would only have to work a quarter of the amount of time in order to make the same amount of money that you could be making in your business right now. That is a very speedy way of decreasing the amount of work you have to do for the same amount of money. Of course, there is a caveat. You have to be able to deliver according to the rates that you have. So if you're not able to deliver yet, if you're not skilled enough to quadruple your rates or double your rates, what you can do is make yourself better in order to be able to charge more. And also check in with yourself. Are you just being really hard on yourself and really afraid to up your prices? A lot of the time, people are petrified of raising the prices. So you have to do two things. Are you just afraid and you're actually really ridiculously skilled? Does everybody always walk away from you and your business services and think, whoa, that was a huge bargain. Oh my God, yay, that's good. Or are they like, that's a bit expensive after they've dealt with you? Because sometimes, of course, there's hesitancy up front, whether or not it's too expensive. But once someone deals with you, oftentimes it's like, oh, that was worth every penny. Oh my God, thank you so much. So just check in with yourself, where you stand on that, and figure out ways of how you can increase your rates so that you can work less and make more. Understanding Parkinson's law. There is a very old law when it comes to time management in business, and it's called Parkinson's law, and it states, work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. This phrase comes from an essay written by Professor Cyril Northcote Parkinson in The Economist in 1955. Basically, this law states that however long you give yourself to finish a task, that's exactly how long it is going to take. All of us understand this law. We've all had first-hand experience dealing with this. Let's say when you're in school and you have an essay due and they give you like 6 weeks or something, and you do the essay in the last day or two. Or your boss asks you to do something that usually would take a month and you have to do it in 2 weeks. Somehow you find a way to do that task within the time frame that you have been given. We humans are incredible at being able to find shortcuts, ways of making things happen with the time frame that you have been given. If someone said to you, something's going to happen to your family if you don't come up with $1 million in 24 hours, I guarantee you 100% you would find $1 million in 24 hours. This is a fun exercise to do, actually. How could you create an amount of money that you want to in a short period of time and force yourself to think up those ways? Because the brain is so miraculous at figuring out ways of making things happen with the constraints that it has been given. But this law also can work against us because you've been there, you've been to those damn meetings that just keep going. They're 1 hour meetings and they just seem pointless. You just don't understand why we have to be talking so much and filling the space with nonsense. And at the end of it, you don't really know why you were there. It's the biggest time waster. A lot of people have found in business, in meetings, in teams, that sometimes you need 5 to 10 minute stand-up meetings in your own business in order to get the exact same results. When I worked as a marketing manager, that's precisely what we did. We found that the meetings were far too long, so we all agreed on doing stand-up 15-minute meetings, just having bullet points of what we're going to do that week. Every Monday we had the meetings, boom, 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 boom. Everybody went through their stuff and then we went off. It was brilliant. It was beautiful. We were able to squeeze out the most amount of work that needed to be done in the shortened amount of time. So you can try that out for yourself in your own meetings, for example. Let me give you an example from what is happening in our own business right now, actually, when it comes to Parkinson's law. Leon is the writer of the incredible newsletter that you should sign up to, link in the bio. He does an exceptional job. And previously, he gave himself 5 hours to complete a newsletter, and he sends them out twice a week. So that's a lot of work, 5 hours a week to produce high quality content. Recently, we have been traveling. There's been lots of different things happening in our lives. So he has not been able to put aside the 5 hours a week in order to write these newsletters. He thought he needed 5 hours. He genuinely had to have the 5 hours in order to complete the emails. However, now he's only been able to give himself about 3 hours. And guess what happened? He was able to produce the same quality, same length, everything, all the research that he had to do into it, he was able to do that within 3 hours. That was a surprise to him because he didn't think that he would be capable of doing that. But now he's giving himself, from now on, only 3 hours a week in order to complete these beautiful newsletters. Quality hasn't dropped. He's just been able to figure out ways on how to research and write these newsletters that you also love much faster. Now, of course, Leon could look at his results and say, oh, I've almost halved the amount of time I spend on each newsletter. Maybe I could, write an extra 1 or 2 every single week and provide more value for the clients. The brain really tries so hard in order to increase the amount of output because it's trying to fill the space. It's like, wait, I have extra time now. What do you want me to do? Not work? If you figured a way to shortcut the work that you do, you should be celebrating and rewarding yourself and enjoying leisure time because you've earned it. Congratulations. Amplify what works. One of the things that James Schramko talks about in his book, Work Less, Make More, is about amplifying the things that already work in your business instead of just doing more things. So let's go back to the example of me doing the YouTube videos. I have already identified that 5 to 6 hours a week dedicating to making YouTube videos is what is ultimate for my business. It's really high priority. It brings in the most results in my own business. Now, I could cut out everything else, right, from my business that isn't producing the same results and just focus wholeheartedly on making more YouTube videos. I could do 4 a week. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of working less and making more. You're just doubling the time investment that you need into this area of the business. What I could instead do is figure out ways how to amplify these videos that I'm already doing and make them get even better results for me. For example, I could invite well-known finance and freedom teachers onto this channel and we could collaborate that way. And then hopefully they will promote the fact that they're on this channel to their audience themselves, meaning that more people will see this channel, brand new channel, there's more awareness for this channel. Or maybe I can figure out a way that every single time I launch a new YouTube video, there's going to be a competition for whoever shares this YouTube video. Or I could put $100 of money, advertising money, behind every single video so that it is viewed by more people, essentially amplifying what is already working, not just adding a bigger workload for myself. So sometimes when you've identified what works really well in your business, you do just want to double down and just do it all and just focus on that thing, which is great, but also consider the option of amplifying things that are already working instead, first and foremost, to see if that produces better results for you. Because yes, you could be just putting out 4 videos a week, but is there a better way to still produce the high quality videos that we do twice a week and reach a bigger audience? The 3 examples above could be some ways of doing that. Hire quickly. This is definitely the hardest lesson that I've had to learn for myself in my own business. I would probably consider myself a perfectionist, and in my head, as a solo business person for 5 years, I thought to myself, there's no way that anyone could do the job as well as me. I might as well do it, or it's going to take too long to teach someone how to do this very simple task. So why can't I just do it like really quickly? This is a dangerous mentality, and it's also not true. People are very skilled. Even let's say that you are truly exceptional and no one can do these tiny tasks that you're trying to delegate better than you. If you have to sacrifice the quality by 20%, for example, and it's not noticeable to the outside eye because your standards are just here and no one notices how great you are anyway, except for a very few amount of people, maybe it's worth it because you're going to get your life back. It scared me, the idea of paying someone else as well for something that I could do myself. It was a growing business. How could I spend money when I was just learning to make money? It was a very scary prospect, but I can't even imagine the size of the business that I would have right now if I had help for the small, minor things, really minor things that were really distracting, that take up so much of my mental space in order for me not to create the best work that I can do. Those tiny things cost me so much in terms of mental space when I should have been focusing on creating. So hire fast and hire often. If you want your business to grow, to reach more people, highly recommend hiring somebody, hiring a bunch of people as fast as you can. You want to be the dumbest person in the room whenever you're running a business. You don't want to be the smartest person at all, because that means that the business is going to stall. And I know that firsthand. It is going to stall if you don't surround yourself with great people. And once you've delegated the tasks that you don't have to do, you can focus on what you're really good at. And then you can take time off and work less and make more. So hopefully this video has has been helpful for you and you've learned some ways that you can learn to work less and make more. Hopefully my plant friends have been amazing as well. If you want to read James Schramko's book, I have read it. It was really nice. It was eye-opening. Highly recommend it. There's a link in the bio. You can also get a PDF download from James Schramko himself. So thank you so much for watching. Of course, if you have not yet subscribed, make sure you do so. Also hit that like if you enjoy this content. There's plenty more where that came from. If you want to find out more about the course membership combo, lifetime access for a huge discount, there's also a link in the bio for that. And I will see you in the next one.